Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to a new video on this channel. Today we are going to discuss Mark's sudden departure from NCT, which perhaps isn't as abrupt as we might imagine, since there has been an entire timeline leading up to this that I will be clarifying. Additionally, we will explore the potential reasons being considered regarding his exit. So without further ado, let's get started. On April 3, SM surprised everyone by releasing a statement announcing Mark's departure from NCT, saying that, after a long period of in-depth discussions with Mark regarding the direction of his future activities and following adequate conversations between both parties, we came to a mutual agreement to conclude his exclusive contract as of April 8. Accordingly, Mark will end all NCT activities, including NCT 127 and NCT Dream. We would like to convey our gratitude for the valuable time we have shared together, and we sincerely cheer on Mark as he leaves the team and begins a new leap forward. Going forward, NCT 127 plans to continue activities with 7 members, and NCT Dream plans to continue activities with 6 members. Following this announcement, Mark posted his own handwritten letter in which he looked back on his entire career, from the auditions he did in 2021 to the present, saying that he would regret it for the rest of his life, but that he was grateful for all the good times. He mentions that he feels deeply sorry that, after much deliberation, this has become the situation. He also notes that he spoke with every single member, and that everyone, without exception, chose to stand by him in his decision. This can be verified since several of them commented on his Instagram post. For instance, Jino said, "Our leader Hyung, let's be happy," while Hee-chan told him that he loved him. Not only that, but Do-young uploaded a story stating, "There is one thing I want to state. If speculation arises about the relationship between Mark and the members, I'd feel an unbearable sense of sadness and injustice. So please allow us to cherish and protect the beautiful relationship we have shared with our fans for over 10 years. Further adding that he understands some fans are grieving, but he cannot simply make that sorrow vanish, expressing his hope that everyone finds happiness in the future. Hee-chan also hosted a live stream to address the subject, which is quite unusual because when a member departs from a group, the others typically turn a deaf ear as if nothing has occurred. Yet he decided to talk about Mark, describing how he felt Mark was more than just a teammate and had always been there for him since they were young, feeling as though they are true brothers. Following the news, the footage of Jisoo at a concert surfaced once again, showing him weeping inconsolably during NCT Dream's final show, likely because he already knew that would truly be their last performance as a 7-member unit. Let's remember that NCT Dream was originally intended to be a rotational unit, where members would graduate upon turning 20. Just as Mark did back in 2018, however, the 7 of them complemented each other so perfectly and achieved such massive success that in 2020, Mark returned, and it was announced that the group would remain a fixed 7-member lineup. On the very same day as that concert where several idols appeared visibly distressed or crying, an alleged internal source claimed that a dispute had arisen between Mark and the agency, while another source suggested that not only Mark, but also 10 would be leaving the group by the end of the year. This particular source now has many people paying close attention because the post was made before the announcement of Mark's departure, at a time when nobody had even a slight suspicion that Mark, who has been with NCT since the very beginning, would ever walk away. There is another theory circulating the internet that could be compatible with this, suggesting that Mark might have left the group for religious reasons. Some details highlighted by fans include a recent listening party where a cross was visible behind him, and from the back, the setup almost resembled a church. Furthermore, in his letter, he mentioned leaving the group to pursue a dream he has long held, and there are segments that could hint at religious themes, specifically where he says, "I think I've come to truly want to find, clearly and for real, what my music, or my fruit, will be and how I can bring it into fruition in this world, and to make that happen no matter what." Beyond that, we know Mark has always been a very spiritual person. He has spoken about his Christian faith on various occasions, and even incorporated it into his lyrics. In fact, his first album is titled First Fruits, a name that is deeply religious, originating as an ancient biblical practice where the first and best portion of the harvest was offered to God as an act of gratitude, trust, and obedience. He has even spoken about his father being a pastor.
아버님 어떤 일 하시는?
우리 아빠는 우리 아버지가 목사님이에요.
아, 진짜?
미국에서는 이제 아버지가 뭐 성악도 하시고.
For this theory, it is also worth noting the timing of his departure announcement on April 3rd, the day on which Jesus died. All this information fuels the speculation that perhaps he now wishes to create religious music, whether as a K-pop idol or perhaps in a more independent way within churches. If he chose this path, it is something he clearly couldn't do as part of NCT, because perhaps not all members share his beliefs or simply wouldn't want to participate in that direction. Others argue that these theories are far too complex and that the simplest explanation is that he is merely exhausted. Mark is one of the most prominent cases of overworked idols. This guy has been part of NCT 127, NCT U, NCT Dream, and superM. He has collaborated with countless artists in addition to his solo projects. Over the last 10 years, Mark has had almost no moments of rest. It would be perfectly normal for this accumulated burnout to have reached an unbearable breaking point. This theory would make a lot of sense, though the only thing that doesn't quite fit is that Mark doesn't mention resting or staying still in his letter, but rather says he wants to keep chasing his dreams, so it's unclear how that aligns with the idea of stopping. All of these are clearly just theories, and we won't know the truth until Mark sits down to discuss it, if he ever feels comfortable doing so. But contrary to other departures we've seen in recent months, fans are quite certain that this was Mark's own decision, and that it is his will to leave the group, not just because of how his letter was phrased, but also because of how the other members have spoken about him. Then there is the matter of superM. Ultimately, the statement says he is leaving NCT and not superM. But if I'm being honest with you, I think superM is so forgotten that even SM forgot Mark was in another group besides NCT. After all, the last song superM released was in 2021. I doubt Mark would leave SM and NCT but remain in superM. Most likely that project will not release any more music, and if it does, it will be without Mark, and I'm not sure what the situation with loveyz is either, but it doesn't look promising. Now we must discuss what will happen to NCT without Mark. We all know he is a fundamental piece of the group. He isn't just one of the most popular members but was also a leader, an impressive rapper, and a key contributor to the songwriting. For this to disappear now will be difficult. I don't think NCT will necessarily decline because they still have many members with immense talent, but Mark was deeply loved, and they will have to find a new balance since many fans might lose interest in the group without him. But what do you all think? I have read the opinions of several NCT fans, and everyone agrees that Mark's absence will leave a noticeable void, because even though, by definition, NCT is a group that's constantly changing, Mark has always been there, serving as a pillar, and if he leaves, no one knows how the group will fare furthermore. We are already at the point where the members are beginning their mandatory military service. We currently have 3 members enlisted, and although some are exempt due to being foreign nationals, the majority of NCT Dream will eventually have to serve. 3 of them will likely have to depart around 2028, leaving behind a group of only 3 active members. Losing Mark is a significant blow to NCT Dream, especially since the group is technically no longer supposed to add new members. I'm unsure if they will go on a hiatus or if the company will reconsider adding new additions, because otherwise the unit will inevitably face a standstill. I can foresee a great deal of instability coming for the group, which is clearly not an ideal situation to be in. I hope SM anticipates this as well and has a solid contingency plan, because otherwise, they stand to lose much more than just Mark.
And this has been all. I hope you like it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did, it would help me a lot. See ya.